Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with a quick review of Nanatsu no Taizai episode 14. 14, The Reader. In this episode, we finally get to see Gauther. And I was so confused like through most of the episode, but I think I kind of understand what's going on. Pretty much this whole episode we see, like, we had seen him like in the past like 4 episodes or so, this green-haired man with this big armored giant. And an armored giant really couldn't talk much or anything, and he was always reading to him. And in this episode we see like this man, he is like reading to him and talking to him and pretty much, I guess, kind of teaching him. And Gauther, who is the big armor giant, I thought, loved listening to him read, loved listening to him read to him. And he would always he always had books for him to read. And there was even a part when they were walking and he was like, well, whenever we get to where we're stopping at, I'll read to you then, because walking while you're reading while you're walking can hurt others. So then we see like Meliodas and Elizabeth and Deanne and everybody. They make a stop in a village, and and pretty much they're like, they set up camp, and they're like, well, Elizabeth really can't go anywhere because she's wanted now too. So Meliodas puts her through all these different costumes, and then she was like, well, I can just put a scarf on. So he tries to undress her, of course, because that's Meliodas. So after that, she like goes out with Hawk, and Meliodas, Bond, and King go into the forest to look for food for the pub or bar, whatever you want to call it. So they go out, Elizabeth goes out. Elizabeth meets this green-haired man, and Meliodas and Bond and King are hunting for food. King is sleeping while Bond and Meliodas found this huge rabbit, and Bond found a whole bunch of small rabbits. So I think they were about tied. But King was sleeping, and they heard a loud noise. And while this is happening, the green-haired man, he goes into the village, he goes into town, and he tells Gauther to stay in the cave because his armor is falling apart. You can see his insides beating and stuff. It's kind of gross. But he goes into town to find some armor adhesive to save his friend. But he was like, our journey is going to be ending soon. So I didn't know what he meant by that. But after all of that, we see Gauther, he meets Elizabeth, and they're talking to each other while these knights are coming into town, because it was announced to Halbram that Gauther, the armored giant, was seen. So he sent out this group of assassins, and they are coming after Gauther. So Gauther pretty much runs through the first wave of knights, and they're literally destroyed. And Meliodas and Bond and King come upon them, and he was the man was telling him this before he died. So they went to where Gauther was, and we see all of them fighting, and them trying to attack Gauther, and Meliodas and everybody jump in front of him. And then Gauther's friend comes up, and he's pretty much Gauther kept saying, I'm scared, I'm scared. Well, Gauther's scared, and he attacked, and then it was just attack after attack. And you can see that these assassins are they are good at what they do. But after all of that, Bond tries to stop this man from shooting an arrow at him, but the man was actually a mirage, and the man was hiding in the dead bodies. And when he shot the arrow, the man Gauther's friend caught the arrow, and he was making this huge announcement, blah blah blah. And Meliodas was this way of talking, and it turns out his hair fell down and it was pink, and it turns out that the small man is actually Gauther. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And that was the end of the episode. So Gauther is actually the small one. He is the Sin. I can't remember which sin that is, but he is Gauther. So the small one is actually Gauther, which threw me off a little bit. I wasn't prepared for that. And then that was pretty much the end of the episode. So I was so confused. I was like, wait a minute, what just happened? Wait a minute. What did you put in your mouth? Didn't even chew. But This episode is awesome. I'm so looking forward to seeing like what is actually going on. I want to read the manga so bad, but I'm trying not to. It's really bothering me. I really want to read the manga, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, as always, for those of you who don't read the manga, I would love to hear how you guys feel about Galther turning out to be the small man instead of the big armored giant. But, as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.